There is a small town in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, where the average household has zero debt, owns its house outright, owns the land it sits on outright, and has more cash savings per family than the average American household has in retirement accounts. They do not use the internet. Most of them do not own a phone. Almost none of them finished high school in the way you and I think of high school. And yet, dollar for dollar, they are quietly some of the wealthiest, most financially resilient people in the United States. They are the Amish. And the reason they are wealthy is not because they live simply, although they do. It is because they have preserved 20 old trades that the rest of America forgot. And these trades pay between $500 and $2,000 a day in cash every single day in 2026. So in the next 10 minutes, I am going to break down all 20 one by one. And you are going to see exactly why a community that refuses electricity is financially crushing the rest of us. Before I get into the trades, you need to understand the structure. The Amish do not separate work from life. There is no commute, there is no boss in the modern sense, there is no marketing budget. The workshop is attached to the house. The customer is the neighbor. The supply chain is the family. And because they refuse most overhead, almost every dollar that comes in is profit. That is the real secret. Not the religion, not the buggies, the overhead. They have almost none. Trade number one, custom furniture. Solid, hardwood, hand-joined, built to outlast the buyer. A simple Amish-built dining table sells for $2,000 to $6,000 retail. The lumber cost is roughly $200. The labor is done by a father and two sons in a barn. One table a week. One family in Ohio is grossing over $300,000 a year from one shop, no website, no social media, only word of mouth, and a roadside sign. Trade number two, storage sheds and barns, prefabricated, hauled in by truck, set on a customer's foundation. $8,000 to $40,000 a piece. Materials cost around 30%. The rest is labor and design. There are Amish shed builders in Pennsylvania, doing 15 of these a month. Trade number three, quilting. A king-size hand-stitched Amish quilt sells for $800 to $2,000. Three women working together finish one in about a week. They sell every quilt they make every time with a waiting list. Trade number four, leatherwork. Saddles, bridles, belts, work boots. A custom Amish saddle is $2,000. A handmade gun belt is $150. There are leather shops in Indiana shipping to all 50 states by mail order, no internet, just a phone an English neighbor uses on their behalf. Now stop here for 1 second, because trade number 5 is, in my opinion, the single most replicable Amish business model for anyone watching this video. And I want you to really hear it. Trade number 5, bulk food stores. The Amish run small grocery stores out of converted barns that sell flour, sugar, oats, spices, dried fruit, and canned goods in bulk at 30 to 60% below supermarket prices. The trick is they buy from wholesale dent and scratch suppliers. Other stores will not touch repack it themselves and sell direct. Margins are razor thin per item, but volume is enormous. A single Amish bulk store in Ohio quietly clears over $400,000 a year. Trade 6 buggies and wagons. There are only a handful of buggy makers left and they are booked 2 years out. A new 4-wheel buggy is $8,000 to $12,000. Trade 7 beekeeping and honey. A productive hive produces 60 pounds of honey a year. Raw honey at a roadside stand sells for $10 a pound. 20 hives is $12,000 a year for maybe 40 hours of total work. Trade 8 greenhouses and bedding plants. Spring is brutal money. One Amish family in Pennsylvania grosses $120,000 in 8 weeks, selling tomato seedlings, hanging baskets and herbs out of 3 small greenhouses. Trade 9 roofing. Amish roofing crews are famously fast, famously sober, and famously cheap by professional standards. They underbid commercial crews by 30% and still walk home with thousands per house. Trade 10 construction. Whole house framing crews of 6 men can frame a house in 3 days. They are booked 12 months ahead. Trade 11 cabinetry. Custom kitchen cabinets $20,000 to $60,000 a kitchen. Trade 12 buggy wheel and harness repair. A dying skill in the modern world, but every Amish family needs harness work done regularly. Cash business, no competition. Trade 13 goat and sheep milk dairy. Niche cheese sells for $30 a pound at farmers markets and specialty stores. Trade 14 cured meats and smoked sausages. A small smokehouse can produce 200 pounds of summer sausage a week at $12 a pound retail. That is over $100,000 a year out of a backyard shed. Trade 15 hand-blown glass and lanterns, less common but extremely profitable when found. Trade 16 pallet building. Boring, repetitive, hugely profitable. Amish pallet shops in Indiana are running multi-million-dollar operations, supplying logistics companies. Trade 17 horse training. A Greenbroke horse is worth $800. A finished riding horse is worth $4,000 to $10,000. The trainer keeps the difference. Trade 18 bakeries. Bread pies, whoopie pies, cinnamon rolls. Roadside stands in tourist areas pull in $3,000 to $5,000 on a single Saturday. Trade 19 wagon wheel chandeliers, rustic home decor, reclaimed wood furniture. They are flipping discarded barn wood into $1,000 dining tables and selling them through English middlemen at trade shows. And Trade 20, the one I think is the most important takeaway from this entire video. Generational apprenticeship. An Amish child starts learning the family trade at 6 years old. By 16, that child is a professional. By 20, that child is running pieces of the business. There is no 4-year detour to a college degree. There is no $50,000 of student debt. There is just 20 years of compounding skill handed down for free. So here is the real lesson, and I want you to sit with this. The Amish are not rich because they refuse electricity. They are rich because they refused 4 things specifically. They refused debt, they refused overhead, they refused commute, and they refused the idea that work and family should be separate. Strip those 4 things out of your life and you are halfway to the same outcome. You do not have to go Amish to copy Amish economics. You just have to copy the structure. If this video reframed how you think about wealth, hit subscribe. Because next Friday I am dropping 20 forgotten hustles that quiet small town millionaires used in the 1960s and 70s. And number 12 is going to fundamentally change how you look at every empty storefront in your town. And in the comments tell me which Amish trade you would steal first. Furniture, bulk, food, bakery, construction. I am picking the 10 most thoughtful comments and writing a full starter plan for each.